cerveza. Now, I'm sure you all know a lot about cerveza, but on class on Monday, we were doing some stories and we were talking about a builder that wanted the people to pay a tercio before they started. And a lot of the people in the class didn't get the tercio, didn't understand what I was saying when I said a tercio. And I said, surely you all know, because it's the same word we order in Spain a beer with. We go into a bar and we say un tercio, por favor. And a lot of them didn't know. So I thought maybe I need a little culture clip on the 5 different words that will get you a beer. So in Spain, when you go into a bar, the majority of Spaniards drink cañas. As you know, a caña is a small glass of beer, small glass of draft beer, which I think in English you would call a half, okay? But there are 5 ways of ordering a beer without saying the word cerveza. So you do not say caña de cerveza. When you go for a caña, if you don't like what's on tap, because the bar that's on the corner next to my school, they have Alhambra on tap, and I'm not a fan of Alhambra. So when I go in there, I will order a tercio instead of a caña. Now, what is a tercio? Tercio translates as a third. It actually means a third. And we've actually got 2 measurements like that for beer, which is a quinto or a tercio. So I can go into a bar and say un quinto, and the reason that you would order a quinto or a tercio has a third of a litre, 33 cl, so it's the, like a can of beer basically, or a can of Coca-Cola, that's the contents. A quinto, which is a fifth, has less beer in it because it's 20 centilitres, less than 33 in a tercio. And the reason that Spaniards like quintos more than tercios is the ratio of glass and beer. Meaning, in the summer, you know that Spanish people like their beer ice cold. The glasses are kept in the freezer and you drink them frosted because you like them that cold. It's making my mouth water. Got to be ice cold. Well, you see, with a quinto, because there's more glass, the beer stays cooler longer. And that's the reason that Spaniards don't drink pints, because they say it gets warm too quickly. Whereas with a quinto or a tercio, it's going to have that glass around it to keep it cooler. But the main reason that I would order a tercio rather than ordering a caña is because I don't like Alhambra on tap, and I know that they will have tercios of a different brand of beer than what they've got. So I'll say un tercio, and she'll come back and say, tenemos Estrella Levante, tenemos Heineken, tenemos, and she'll give me the 3 brands that they have in tercios, and I will say which one of those 3 brands I want as a tercio. And exactly the same will happen with a quinto. Okay, so you just go into a bar, and there are many places now that advertise a cubo, a bucket, cubo de quintos, a bucket of fifths and a tapa for 10 euros. And you go, what's a bucket of fifths and a tapa for 10 euros? Well, they give you a bucket full of ice with bottles of beer screwed into the ice, 10 bottles of beer and a tapa for 10 euros. Absolute bargain. And it's called a cubo de quintos, a bucket of fifths. I know that doesn't make any sense to you, but keeping it ice cold, which is what we like in Spain. So then if you did want a pint, I need to point out the fact that around here where I live, there's another one of these words that you're talking to yourself in Japanese, which is a pinta. Now, a pinta, let's be clear. Spaniards do not use the word pinta. It's a word that around here, so many people have looked up the word for pint in a dictionary, and it comes up as pinta because it's a unit of measurement in the US and in the UK, which we don't have pints in Spain, that unit of measurement. Okay, we are in, millilitres, centilitres and litres. But of course, if you look up the word pint, it says pinta. But that is not something we drink in Spain, pintas. We've always drunk tanques. Now, a tanque is like a tankard, because our Spanish pint glasses were always very, very heavy, round with a handle on the side, pint glasses, but they were tankards. So when you wanted a big beer, and don't get me wrong, you can say cerveza grande for a pint as well. Some places when you say un tanque, they'll go cerveza grande, same difference. And I've been told that when you go up north, they favour more cerveza grande than they do tanque. And I've also been told by students that they've said pinta when they've gone into the back of Murcia, and the waiter's looked at them and gone like that with his hand saying pinta, pinta la casa, because you're talking about painting rather than drinking. So a pinta is something which around here everybody seems to understand, but I would not ever use pinta, ever. I would much rather you use cerveza grande or tanque, and that covers now 4, because we've got, in size-wise, it would be a quinto, a caña, a tercio, a third, obviously the Tanque, which I'm telling you about, or cerveza grande. And then most bars, like where I live on Campo Verde, the local pizzeria, also serves litros. Now, a litro is a litre of beer, not to be drunk at the table. They offer those for the workmen who come in for their menú del día at lunchtime. And then when they go back to the building site, they take a litro de cerveza with them to put back in their cool box. So they sell them at a very small profit, just basically as a service for the workmen to take their litro back to the workplace again, because you've seen, if you dig a hole in your garden in Spain, you don't find dinosaur bones, you find cans of beer, don't you? It's a very, very common thing in Spain. Then, of course, if you want to go bigger than a tanque in a bar, you can, of course, order a jarra, which is a jug, a jarra de cerveza. Some people like jarras, again, to share out, to drinking out of the small glasses. But pints as such, Spaniards are not great pint drinkers. I would call it a tanque if I ordered a pint. Can call it cerveza pequeña, but please don't use the pinta. But the two words I would like you to take away from this is a quinto, a fifth, and a tercio, a third. And you can also use that tercio like we were using in class on Monday for saying the builder wanted un tercio del dinero al principio, a third of the money at the beginning, un tercio en el medio, a third at the middle, and un tercio al final, a third at the end. And he was talking about the money, not beer. Okay? So, practice, go to the bar now and order one of each of those to make sure you're getting it right.